In this tutorial, we're going to further our understanding of the Python interpreter by showing you how Python physically works from the command line. Hey, it's Chris with A to C Python Academy with more tips and tutorials to help you be the budding Python developer we both know you can be. Thanks for being here, and if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new tutorial. So in our last two videos, we talked about how the software communicates with your computer and how important that interaction creates the baseline for the Python interpreter. We also talked about what the Python interpreter was and how your source code got all the way to machine code and executed to what we see on your screen. If you have not seen those videos or are interested in revisiting those videos, I provided links in the description below for both of those. Or you can click on the link in the top right of the screen to review part 2 in the series. But today we're going to dive into the terminal if you're on a Mac, the command line if you're on Windows, or the shell or console if you're in Linux, and open up some files to show you how some of the topics we spoke about in the previous two videos work. We're going to talk about and look inside how the .pyc file is created from the compiler. We're also going to disassemble the .pyc file and see the unreadable bytecode and create a readable version of that file. Let's get started. Okay, so now we're sitting in the folder that carries the file that I want to execute. So now what I'm going to do is to open up the file. This is a Python file, source code is. Now, as you see, what I've done there is I put in Python 3 hello underscore YouTube underscore subs.py. So Python 3 is the Python software, and then hello underscore YouTube underscore subs.py is the actual source code. So this runs the source code in Python on our terminal, and the output, as you can see, is hello Python tutorial by Chris subscribers. Now, what if I wanted to take this file and compile it and then look at the bytecode of the file? I would need to run a specific command. Python 3-m. The m calls for the module, and the module name is going to be py underscore compile, and then the name of the file. Now, what I have on the screen here is Python 3, which is the Python software, m, which calls for a module. The module is Python compile, py underscore compile, and then the source code itself, which is hello underscore YouTube underscore subs.py. So we're going to run that, and it comes right back to the prompt. What this process has done is it's taken your source code of hello underscore YouTube underscore subs.py, and it's compiled it and created a bytecode file, a PYC file. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and see if we can't access that file. Now, the compiler has created a bytecode version of the .pyc file, and it's going to store it in a compiled data folder called underscore pycache underscore. So what we're going to do right now is list the files inside of that underscore pycache underscore folder. But before we do that, we're now sitting in the Python work folder, right? So we just created that .pyc file, we compiled it. So the folder for that file should be listed under this Python underscore works directory. So we're just going to do a simple ls command, and as you can see right here, underscore pycache underscore. That is our bytecode folder, and inside of that folder should be our bytecode file. So what we're going to do now is open up that folder and locate that .pyc file inside of that pycache folder. So we'll just do a simple ls list command, and we'll call for that folder. And what this should do is list the files inside of that pycache folder. This is your bytecode compiled version of your source code. Hello underscore YouTube subs.c python -39.pyc. That is a Python class file, and it is a bytecode file. Now, this is the version of the source code right before it can be converted into machine code and executed by your processor. So now what we're going to do is open up that file, and I'm going to show you guys what that file looks like on the inside. Now, we've talked about the fact that this file is unreadable. It's written in bytecode. Now, there's some small portions inside of this file that you'll be able to recognize as far as code that you've written, but most of it has a bunch of garbage symbols that's unreadable by us. So I'm going to open up this file here. So what I've got here is the concatenate command here, which is going to allow us to read the data from the file and display the contents in an output here. We've got the folder that holds this .pyc file, the __pycache___, and we've got the actual .pyc file that we want to open and look at. What you're seeing below right here is the output of the .pyc file. Now, if you look at that output, some of it you can read, right? But then there's lots of it in here that is just garbled. This is what bytecode looks like when you try to open it up and read it with human eyes. Now, a lot of you are going, well, that's useless because I can't really understand it. Although I see portions of my code in there, I can't really understand that. Well, there is a way that we can take this bytecode and actually make it in a human readable format. And the way we do that is we use a module called disassemble, or DIS. DIS will place this in such of a format that it's much more readable to us than this output that you see in front of you right here. Okay, so what we have here is we're running Python 3, the software itself, -m, which calls for the module. The module is disassemble, or DIS. And then you have the source code file that you want to try to open up and disassemble. So the output for this guy, as you can see here, it breaks it down to a more readable format. So we got print command here, which is what gives you the output, and then the output of hello Python tutorial by Chris subscribers. So this is just a more readable format for us. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found value in it. And if you want more free of charge Python tips, tricks, and tutorials, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's class.